Welcome to week one of After Hours. All right, welcome back. Here we go. We're going to be doing three games, Bobby C and I, after each week, and each game is worth $5. So that's, I think we got a 14-week season this year. So you're basically looking at three games times 14. So a possibility of $42 being uh, actually 42 games. And already he's not starting out good. And let's say Bobby C or I win all the games at $5 a piece. That's $210, I think, somewhere in there. So, so there's some money on the stake, but we're doing this because we basically say it's really close. He'll win three, I'll win three. Every week we just go back and forth. Nobody really pulls ahead, but somebody will have to pay because we're not going to finish even. So we just figured $5 will be good. And I didn't throw good, as if you watched all 12 games, I was not throwing that well. So to be playing Bobby C after a night like this, he's already up 9-0, is sort of goofy that I'm.
He just said that, but I think he was kidding.
Yeah, I was hopeful. Usually joke about the handicap of 12 before I start. And I could probably pull it off 2/3 of the time. But there's those days that Bobby C is just on fire, so I give him 12, and by the time I turn around, I'm losing 21-2.
On a board, 9-3.
9-1. So if you watched the 12 games before this, this was the Golden Shoes, our first week. And Golden Shoes was the second place team last year in the A division, right behind us. And we just beat them 11-1. Strange. Don't know how we did that, especially with me. I wasn't really even shooting that well. But Bobby C and Rick stepped up, and Dan hit when he needed to, so that was pretty good. Dan's always there when we need him. Dan will be there when we need him, hopefully next week when we play his brother's team, the Buds Shooters. Dan's brother is Al on that team. So 9-4, catching up a little bit. I'm surprised I didn't put the score up. Maybe I'll go back in time and fix that. So I'm talking about something that actually happened. Six all day plus the one is 9-7. That's what flashed up there, so we're good. Surprised I actually remember the score. Usually I don't. Usually I sit there and go, I don't know. Sometimes I would just walk away and go, well, if I don't remember it, I don't get anything. I don't know if you guys have ever seen me do that against Bobby. He's like, I don't remember. I'm like, I don't remember either. So instead of like trying to like make up something and come across a cheat or a liar, I just don't give myself anything. So I like that. You'll see on the third week, we've already got, I think, 3 weeks under our belt. That's how far behind I am on these. 9-8. I have an LED scoreboard that really helps me out, and it has a remote on it, so you'll be seeing that soon when we play our home game. Maybe next year I'll actually get 2 of those, so I'll have them on both pits, and then I won't need I won't need to put the score on the top or in red and blue on the bottom. It'll be right there in LED red and blue lights to begin with. So look for that in a couple weeks. That'll save me time in editing too. I'll just be able to go ahead and go immediately to the narration. So it'll save me about, on a 20-minute video, it'll save me about a half hour, 40 minutes. Nine nine. So just so you guys get an idea of what this takes, this is a 44-minute video. I have to watch the entire thing and put the scores in and any messing around with any instant replay, slow motions, or anything. So I have to watch the entire 44 minutes, real time, and then you have to allow for all the editing of the scoreboards and everything like that. And that could easily, just putting in the scores, could be at least an hour on a 44-minute video, maybe even an hour and 20 minutes, depending on how fast I do everything. Then I have to go back, once all the scores in there, then I go back and narrate over it. So I have to watch it and narrate it in real time. So scores popping down that you see were all done before I got into the narration stage. So this way I can sit back and watch it and talk about things going on and not have to worry about what the score is. So this 44-minute video has been sitting on my computer for, I think, 4 days now. Been trying to find time to get it done.
Oh, I got lucky on that one. 3 Bobby C.
So for how bad I did tonight, I'm actually keeping up with Bobby C, so that's not so bad. Yeah, it looked like Shorten dug in a little bit there. Yeah, Bob's talking about pit, the one on the pit on the left is at a higher elevation than the pit on the right. So we actually, when I shoot that shoe,
Oh, I needed it to stay.
I go to the other pit. I have to actually walk uphill to get there.
Yeah.
And when I turn around, I got to go downhill to the other one. So that sort of messes us up all night. And Ken was saying that you see the discolored concrete, it was laid at different times. Well, where Bobby C is pitching now is somewhat flat, but the whiter cement in front of him, where the 30-footer stand, is actually going downhill. So the cement is not flat; it actually goes downhill at a I don't know, 3 or 4% grade or whatever it is. So Ken always hates that because he hates shooting at his own home bar because he's literally walking downhill when he shoots. So it almost feels like he's like a falling sensation as he's walking down. At least the 40-footers stand somewhat flat. We're throwing down, but we're at least walking flat. Ooh, 16-12, getting out of hand a little bit. And when Bobby C and I play, we get right around like one shoe length around that stake. It's really compacted very quickly.
All right, Quick's got to get the first throwback.
Oh yes, you do. And Bobby C's waiting. He's... Oh, we were talking about when that guy came in. He if you watched the one of the, I think that was the last game. He came strolling in with his stereo just blaring like a 12-year-old. These guys are funny. We're like, what's going on? What are you doing? Okay, that last guy needs to pull in and. I cut it because there's music and I don't want to get a copyright strike. So this whole time, but they're playing. I can't remember what song they were playing, but I think they actually pulled in to listen to the music, and in a little bit they'll actually pull out because they don't go inside. They stay right there by their bikes. I figured you guys would want to hear the shoe hit, so I give you at least the shoe strike. But yeah, they're playing music, so and they're right there by their bikes talking, and then in a little bit they'll just jump on their bikes and roll away. I think the one guy says, "Hey, look, you gotta hear this song." So I think that's what they pulled into the parking lot for. This whole time the music's blaring. It's like, okay, you literally pulled into a parking lot to crank your music so your buddy can hear it, and then you're gonna drive away. Well, this is a lot longer than I thought, but there we go. Yeah, see the one guy just never got off his bike. The other guy just was sitting there talking to him, listening to the music. And then they're done. They leave. We're looking at each other like. That was strange. Bobby C throwing six packs.
Bobby C. That's it. Game one. Bobby C.
21-15.
Listen to that guy's favorite song. Pump me up again.
So that's $5 down the drain. See if I can't get into game two here and win it back. I think we decided that. There we go. We're deciding now.
Always flip for the first throw, but losers go first.
Okay. Flip the start of every night, and then losers go first. Okay. Because like I said, we're this is coming up to the fourth week, so weeks 2 and 3, I don't think we flipped to see who would go first. I think Bob said I totally annihilated you, so you go first the second week.
The bad thing is I went first on that first game. So I'm already throwing off the curve.
Well, it's a hell of a start this time.
So what do I got in there? I got at least. I know I got one, but I don't know if I put the other one close. No?
Could have been a four-deader, huh?
Yeah.
I must have put a six pack on.
I had 3 of those tonight.
And one is 10.
The funny thing is, I had them twice tonight. I took my own off after the 6.
Stay tuned. I got a couple of instant replays in here today. Some shoes doing some funky stuff. So I figured I'd put them in a slow motion instant replay for you so you can see. I always wonder, I'd love to see those in slow motion. Well, I can now. Put it in slow motion and sort of tell what it does, how it hit and how it got rejected off the stake. So stay tuned for those.
Leg and he still hits it.
Yep. I always get excited when I hear the pant leg from some like my opponent, because that usually throws people off. But lately, Bobby C is not getting thrown off by that. He even hears it, and it goes on. So it's like, damn. So when Bobby C hits his pant leg, I don't get excited anymore. I just wait and see what happens.
Pretty pissed about that one, but it's still good shoot.
Same thing.
Okay, this is game 2, and Bobby C's already missing to the right a little bit, so it's a good time to capitalize here and actually take the lead.
Oh, you're off.
He was off before, you dummy. There we go.
Oh, stab that shit.
Yeah, you did.
I was watching the shadow. I marked your first
Oh,
one,
here's.
Yeah.
and your second one was about here, and your second one was the one that went on. Just an observation on my part. I think it's kind of cool because it shows, because the light's the same.
Right.
So I get to see.
Well, that showed it. My first one was short.
Yeah, it was short. So the second one, like he said, was higher. It's because I lifted my shoe up higher. It sort of tells me, like a mental note, that get it up. So he's saying when I do that secondary lift, it's always he's seeing this if it's the same spot in the air, like right there. So if I get it in the same spot or very close, like within an inch away, then I have the same force dropping. So the same everything. The speed is basically the same, because all I do is just release my muscles, and the weight of the shoe and the weight of my arm swings down.
Don't tell me that. I know it was ugly.
Top ringer one day.
Look at that. I had a little lead in game 1. Got a little lead in game 2. But it's very early. See, I'm thinking, what it was. See, I just threw that shoe, and I wasn't even thinking about throwing the shoe. I was thinking about the shadow and what's he talking about, the shadow here and there. It's like, and the funny thing is, I literally saw the shadow out of the corner of my eye. So I was like trying not to pay attention to it, but yeah. Obviously, you don't mean to distract me and take me off my game, but that really messed with me. Yeah. You just can't think about it. I understand if it's uphill, downhill, and all that stuff, but you just literally have to not think about it. Just go up there and just do your main steps, like get into your starting position. That starts your rhythm, and go for it. Just remember to follow through to the stake, though. When you see the shoe out of your hand to the stake, the very last thing you do. So everything else in between there should all be automatic. And a big thing is when I'm sweating now, and it's humid, and I get like sweat in my eye. I notice that if I blink, like if I'm right there, if I blink right there, I'm done. I like to have to start everything over.
You gotta be kidding me.
So I have to lock my gaze on that stake and don't take it off of there. And I usually get my gaze right at about 5 inches from the material, from the bottom of the stake, 5 inches up. That's where I lock on. That's where my aim is. And hopefully my mind is. I did that earlier and it worked out. But I'm a firm believer that your mind, when it is playing a game like this, your eyes look at the target, and your eyes tell your mind the distance, and it's going through mathematical equations kind of thing, telling how much force you need to throw that to. So if you don't have, here's that instant replay with slow motion in the second shoe. So when you are going out and playing games like this that demand precision, consistency, something that with this consistency, you can't go out there with fuzzy eyesight. That's basically in my mind that's sort of saying that your eyes can't communicate with your brain and tell them the correct distance. So how could you possibly know exactly how much power you need to put in to get that shoe that complete distance? It's just goofy things I think of, but I don't know anything about if that's right or not. I'm not a scientist, and I don't know anything about how eyes contact, but it's just things I think of.
People that don't like us were crying, bitching, but now they like
not fucking practice.
I don't. I what I call practice is not what everybody else calls practice. What I call practice is even this. What I'm doing with Bobby C is nowhere near. It's beneficial, but it's not practice. Practice is me going out to the pit all by myself and working on things, working on my shot, trying different things. This is just play. And a lot of guys used to say that, oh, I go to 3 tournaments a week. That's practice. I'm like, it's a very small degree, yes, but you're not fixing things, you're not changing things, and you're not, you know what I mean? It's you're if you have bad habits, you go to these tournaments and you repeat the bad habits. Practice is getting rid of the bad habits.
Real.
And the bad thing is, if you really want to get good at this game, and let's say you're a 20% shooter, if you really want to get good and you've been playing a lot and you can't progress anywhere past the 20%, that means you need to change a lot of things with your game, and you can't do it if you, let's say you play leagues every Thursday like I do and Bobby C. You can't go on a Friday and say, oh, I'm gonna change everything I do so I'm prepared for next Thursday. It's not going to happen in 7 days. Because the one thing you're going to do is if you start changing things and you're at a 20%, you're going to need to practice that and make those new changes second nature. And that doesn't take just 7 days. It's going to take a long time. So I do any changes I do over like winter break. So I was a 35% shooter. I in 2015, the winter of 2015, I completely changed just about everything about my throw.
Oh my Lanta, really?
Yeah, watch this. This is horrible. Here comes another instant replay. Yeah, it was. So if you didn't see that, Bob's was standing up.
One more game.
I threw, you can't say perfect ringer, but it was a halfway decent ringer. Mine took his place.
What's the ordinance here? Because we can play till
He went. It went from a leaner behind the stake. I threw mine. It went around the stake, bounced his down into a ringer,
Cool chick, cool chick.
and it's like that's the luck I had tonight.
Name, by the way?
I'm Kylie.
Hi, Kylie. Hello.
Hi, Kylie. I'll never remember your name. I'm sure you won't remember mine either, but chances are better that you remember me. Because I can't remember anything.
Yeah, silver shoes.
Silver shoes. So we might see you again, Kylie.
Yeah, I'll be here next Thursday.
It might be a couple weeks.
Well, then I'll be here.
Thursday's your night?
For now, yeah. We're just finishing things up right now while we figure everything out until we can finally be normal again.
Yeah, right.
Normal.
People just want to be normal.
Yeah. Don't be normal.
We're all Abby normal right now.
Yep.
So there he goes, 3-0 already. So right now I owe Bob C $10. This is game 3, and I'm already 18 points away from owing him. Oops. 15 points away from owing him $15.
You know, I see a lot of that.
14 points.
If I don't practice, everything's the same. My mentality, everything's, it's just my arm just,
Yeah, that's so frustrating.
so there is absolute muscle memory on keeping it straight.
When I don't practice, I'm doing everything the same. It's just my body doesn't cooperate. In my mind, everything's the same. I'm doing everything the same, but just just goofy.
I kind of been
It's
watching.
nothing. My shoes are flying good. They're just, I don't know if you're, I just need practice.
This I've been watching. With my shadow thing, it just gives a reference. I put my thing down and I watch your second one, and it's like there. So I don't know if you're losing it here.
It's just,
Your shoulders open up.
my arm's
but-
not strong. My arm is very weak and
Because you're going to the same point. So it's got to be something after that.
I just lose myself. I just throw. I don't, sometimes I don't. Like right now, just trying to get conditioning, I'll go out there and just throw, walk back and forth, just keep throwing until my arm's a freaking noodle.
I always talk about the giggle effect, and like I said, this is an old video that I'm not caught up on. So we've already played 9 games, and I went over to Bob's house on a Sunday, and we played, I think, 10 or 11 matches.
It's just weak. It's just not doing.
And Bob shot phenomenal that night, and he actually understood what I meant by the giggle effect, because he couldn't miss. He literally couldn't miss. If he wasn't throwing a 6-pack, he had one on all the time. It seemed like I can count his open pits all on one hand that day. So I got lucky, a lucky 6-pack there. But Bobby C's shooting pretty good, so I'm sure that'll be covered. At least one of them. Ooh. I'm hoping that was his shoe. Looks like I'm still hooked. No, covered. 3 ringers 3. So these games aren't that great for me, but not getting skunked.
Wrong side.
So frustrating. This game is so frustrating. There goes Bobby C, just effortless.
Six.
You had 3 down there.
3 me, 6 you.
So quiet. This is easily a little bit. The third game I think is closer to 10:15 probably now. 10:15 p.m. ish. We have played till 11 o'clock. I got home at 11:30.
You gotta be.
I had to mute my naughty words. Oh, didn't mute that one. Sorry. Yeah, if I muted every naughty word,
I'm gonna do that.
I would. I probably wouldn't have any audio on a normal game. Between 8 to 10 guys while playing horseshoes, it tends to get pretty bad. So sorry for that.
Go way down there. On you.
All right, so now he's getting out of hand a little bit again. One thing I don't like is when he gets to 15, then I get worried. So if he's at 14 and I'm like, okay, I can do a little push, keep him at 14. So I got to cap that to keep him at 14. And that's frustrating. Let's see where that came off. It was a little short. Didn't get my hooks around it. So that might be one. That might put him right where I don't want him to be. Nope. Nope. Good, good. So I stopped him from getting 15. Now we'll see if I can get me some. Nope. I'm frustrated at this point. Easy pickings, I said. And I get lucky. So sorry about those last four shoes of mine and Bobby C's. It's 8 shoes and we get 1 point. At least on the other side we had top ringers. That might look like 4 maybe.
And you're on the correct side. Everything's fresh for the picking.
He might yeah. Let me have 4. What a nice guy. Thank you, Bobby C.
4 to 8. So 11, 14. That was, oh my god, I can feel it in the backswing. I knew that was going left. My backswing's not even back straight. That means I'm muscling it, so I'm not dropping it. Alright.
Oh, it's going to give me 3.
4 here, 3 there, 7 all day. 14, 14.
14 to 14. Oh my gosh. It's 14 to 14 and we have less than 4 minutes to go in the game. Bobby C's up 2 games to 1. Shoes are in my hands. I'm going first on an empty pit. It all looks good from here. That's almost on. It's towed, but can be pushed. And then I throw it at the backboard. Obviously put a little concentration into it. Paid off. Looks like that's hooked.
You just, I don't know what the hell you just did.
You're on or off or...
I don't know.
That looks like 4. So 18. 14 and 3 is 17, dummy. 14 and 4 is 18. Okay, so now I'm 18 to 14, and I lost first throw. It's just been a horrible night. Put a fork in me. And he did. He put a huge fork in me. I'm done. In a big way. Nice six-pack, Bobby C. And with that, it's gone. It was there. It was just a lot of metal. If that would have been an empty pit, wow. Yeah, if that would have been an empty pit, that would have been 4 dead, or a six-pack for myself. So
Landing on a walkway is so
either way,
totally deceiving.
thanks for watching. I'm down $15 to Bobby C, and watch after every week the After Dark, and we'll play 3 games. See if I catch up.
Bobby C pissed me off. So that means I'll practice and I'll come back. I haven't been practicing since I think when we went to during the winter.
Yeah.
I really didn't practice then because I was just doing videos
doing
there.
doing
So,
videos. Yeah.
I've just been slacking.
All right. Thanks for
My
watching.
fault. Bobby C outshot me. I'll come back. Thanks for watching.
Yes, he will.